Nathan stands at the edge of the ranch, staring at the horizon as if it's calling his name. Something has changed in him. Something he can't hide anymore. And today, he finally makes a choice that could shift everything at Heartland forever. Something unusual happens early in the morning when Nathan steps outside before anyone else is awake. The sky is still pale, the ranch is quiet, and the only sound is the wind moving across the open fields. He holds a letter in his hand, the edges worn from how many times he has folded and unfolded it. Even though he tries to steady his breathing, it is clear the message inside has shaken him deeply. Nathan has faced storms before, but this time the storm is inside him. And the hardest part is, no one at Heartland knows what he is carrying. The day before, Nathan received the letter out of nowhere. It had no sender name on the envelope, only his name written in handwriting he recognized but could not place at first. When he opened it, the words inside felt like a pull toward a place he never expected to return to. Montana, a land filled with memories he once locked away, both good and painful. The letter spoke of an opportunity waiting for him there. Something unfinished, something that needed him. Even though the message was short, every line seemed to whisper that this was not just an invitation but a turning point. Nathan tries to clear his mind by walking across the ranch. But every step reminds him of how much Heartland has become part of him. The family, the horses, the quiet moments in the barn, the laughter around the dinner table. Leaving this place feels impossible, yet staying while ignoring the letter feels even harder. He knows that choices like this don't come without consequences. If he leaves, he might hurt people who trust him. If he stays, he might lose a chance to fix something that has been waiting for years. As sunlight slowly spreads across the ranch, Nathan looks up at the sky. His eyes reflect a mixture of fear and hope. He has always been strong on the outside, but inside he is carrying the weight of questions he has avoided for too long. Why now? Why Montana? And why does this feel like a door he is meant to walk through? Nathan folds the letter again and slips it into his jacket pocket. His heartbeat is steady but heavy. Today, he knows he has to face the truth. Before the day ends, someone at Heartland will notice that something is different about him. They always do. But for now, Nathan stands alone with a secret that will soon shake everything around him. Nathan hides the letter deep in his pocket as he walks toward the barn. But the weight of it follows him like a shadow he cannot shake. Morning chores should keep his mind busy, yet every simple task feels heavier today. When he brushes down one of the horses, his hands move out of habit, but his mind keeps returning to the same few sentences written inside the letter. The message was short, but the meaning behind it was powerful enough to stop his entire world. He remembers opening it the night before, standing alone in his room with only the lamp beside him for light. The moment he read the first line, he felt something inside him shift. The letter spoke of someone he once trusted, someone he had not heard from in years. The name at the bottom brought back memories he thought he had buried. Memories that belonged to Montana. It was written that there was a ranch there that needed help. The kind of help only Nathan could give. It also mentioned something personal, something only the sender would know. That part made his hands shake. It was not just business. It was something tied to his past. Something he could no longer ignore. As he thinks about it, a worry grows inside him. If he leaves for Montana, what will the Heartland family think? Amy might understand, but she will still feel the loss. Jack might hide his concern behind his calm voice, yet Nathan knows the old man depends on him more than he says. Lou will want answers, and Tim might challenge him, questioning if this decision comes at the wrong time. Nathan is not afraid of their reactions, but he is afraid of letting people down. He has found a place among them, a place he did not expect to find when he first arrived. Nathan steps out of the barn and looks across the fields. The wind feels sharper today, almost as if it is pushing him to choose. He thinks about Montana, a place filled with wide open land, tall mountains, and unfinished stories. There was a time when he promised himself he would never return there. Now, that promise feels weak against the weight of the letter. It is rare to get a second chance to repair something from the past, and this letter feels like that chance. He tries to breathe deeply, but the more he tries to stay calm, the more his heart reminds him that change is already happening. Even if he tells no one yet, Even if he tries to act normal, the truth is simple. Nathan is being pulled toward Montana, and the pull feels stronger every hour. He closes his eyes for a moment. All he sees is the name signed at the bottom of the letter. All he hears is the unspoken message behind the words. Come home, fix what was broken. This is your moment. Nathan knows he cannot run from this forever. The question is no longer whether he should go. It is whether he is ready to face what Montana holds. Nathan tries to move through the day as if nothing has changed, but the truth follows him everywhere. His silence becomes its own kind of signal. Heartland is a place where people notice small things, and today, those small things begin to add up. He talks less. He avoids long answers. His eyes drift toward the horizon more than usual. And slowly, the people around him begin to feel that something hidden is pressing on him. Amy is the first to sense it. She has always been able to read people, especially those who carry their emotions quietly. While they work together in the arena, she watches him pause for a moment longer than he should. His focus slips, and he gives a soft sigh he thinks no one hears. Amy does. She knows that look. It is the look of a person standing at a crossroads. She does not ask him outright, but she walks a little closer, her voice softer than before. Something on your mind? Nathan gives her a small smile, one that tries to hide more than it reveals. He says he is just tired. Amy nods, though she knows the truth is deeper. Jack notices later in the day. Nathan brings in the horses for feeding, moving with the steady rhythm Jack has grown to respect. But today there is a pause in his steps, a stiffness in his shoulders. Jack watches him from the gate, the way someone watches a friend who is trying too hard to carry something alone. When Nathan walks past him, Jack asks how things are going. Nathan answers quickly. Too quickly. Jack sees the distance in the younger man's eyes. He has seen that look before, years ago, in people who were trying to decide if they wanted to stay or walk away. Lou encounters Nathan in the house while setting the table. When she greets him, he responds politely, but something is off. He seems checked out, like his thoughts are miles away. Lou, always practical, wonders if there is a problem she should step in to fix. She considers asking, but Nathan's guarded expression keeps her quiet. Instead, she studies him from a distance, hoping he will open up on his own. Even Tim, blunt and quick to call things out, notices that Nathan is missing a spark today. When he passes Nathan by the barn, he raises an eyebrow and asks if he is coming down with something. Nathan shakes his head, but he does not joke back the way he normally would. That is enough for Tim to feel something is going on. He does not push it, but he walks away with a frown, knowing something big is sitting on Nathan's shoulders. By evening, the whole ranch feels the shift around him. Heartland is built on connection, and when one person carries a heavy weight, it ripples through everyone. Nathan can feel their unspoken questions following him through the day. He appreciates their concern, but he is not ready to tell them. Not yet. The truth feels too raw, too tangled. He is still trying to understand it himself. The secret in his pocket is changing everything. And Heartland, with all its warmth and love, is beginning to feel the distance he never meant to create. Night settles over Heartland with a quiet heaviness, the kind that makes every sound sharper and every thought louder. Nathan stands near the old fence behind the barn, the same place he often goes when he needs space to think. But tonight, it feels different. Tonight, the world around him feels suspended, waiting for him to finally confront what he has been avoiding all day. The moon casts a pale glow across the fields, and in that stillness, the truth he has been fighting finally pushes its way to the surface. He pulls the letter from his pocket again. Even in the dim light, he knows every word by heart now. The message from Montana is not just an invitation. It is a call that reaches into the deepest parts of who he used to be and who he still might become. Nathan realizes he cannot pretend the letter means nothing. He cannot keep acting like the decision is far away. It is here, right in front of him, and the weight of it presses on his chest until he can barely breathe. His mind runs through everything he has built at Heartland. The trust he earned, the friendships that surprised him, the quiet sense of belonging that slowly grew in him over the years. Leaving this place is not as simple as packing a bag and walking away. Leaving means breaking a routine that healed him. It means stepping out of the safety he found here and into a place filled with old wounds. But staying would mean lying to himself, pretending he is not tied to the past that now reaches for him. Nathan hears soft footsteps behind him. He does not turn around. He knows it is Amy. She always seems to find him when something inside him is cracking. For a moment, neither of them speaks. She stands beside him, close enough to show she is there but far enough to give him room. And then she asks the question he has been afraid of all day. "What are you thinking about?" Nathan takes a slow breath. The truth feels sharp, but hiding it feels worse. He hands her the letter. Amy reads it quietly, her eyes moving with care. When she finishes, she does not look surprised. She simply looks at him with the kind of understanding that cuts straight through walls. She tells him that whatever he decides, he has earned the right to choose for himself. No guilt, no fear, no pressure. Her words soften something inside him, but they also make the reality sink deeper. Nathan knows he cannot delay this choice anymore. Montana is not just a place. It is unfinished history. It is a path he walked away from because he wasn't ready. Now, life is asking him if he is ready at last. Nathan looks out over the wide fields one more time. Then he closes his eyes. In that quiet moment, he knows the truth. The pull toward Montana is not fading. It is growing. And the longer he stays silent, the more he risks losing the chance to make things right. Morning comes too quickly. Nathan barely sleeps, and when he finally steps outside, the ranch is already awake. Horses move in their stalls, the smell of fresh hay fills the air, and the sound of familiar voices drifts from the house. Heartland feels exactly the same as it always does, yet everything inside Nathan feels different. Today he must speak the truth out loud. Today, he must tell them what he plans to do. The thought alone tightens his chest. He starts with Jack because he knows Jack deserves the truth first. Nathan finds him near the round pen repairing a broken board. Jack looks up with his usual calm, steady expression, the one that makes people feel safe. Nathan hesitates for a second, but then he steps closer and hands Jack the letter. Jack reads it slowly, his eyebrows drawing together as he takes in every line. When he finishes, he lets out a quiet breath. He does not try to talk Nathan out of it. Instead, Jack says something that catches Nathan off guard. "You don't owe anyone a life you didn't choose. If this is something you need to face, then face it with your head up." Nathan feels a knot form in his throat. Jack's support makes the decision both easier and harder at the same time. Next, Nathan finds Lou in the kitchen. She is busy as always, juggling a dozen tasks at once. When Nathan tells her, she freezes for a moment, surprised but not angry. She asks practical questions, trying to make sure he is thinking clearly. And when she realizes he has made up his mind, she places her hand on his arm and tells him that Heartland has room for him no matter where he goes. Her voice is steady, but he can see the emotion in her eyes. Lou hides her feelings well, but today even she struggles to keep them tucked away. Tim is the hardest. Nathan knows Tim will react with fire before understanding. When Nathan explains, Tim immediately questions the timing, the reason, the letter, everything. His voice rises, his frustration spills out, and for a moment the air between them feels heavy. But then Tim stops. Something softens in his expression. He knows what it means to chase a past that refuses to rest. He mutters that he does not want to lose someone else from the ranch. And that simple line cuts deep. For the first time, Nathan sees the worry behind Tim's anger. Finally, Nathan returns to the arena where Amy is working a horse. She turns when she sees him, already sensing that this conversation is the one that will hurt the most. He does not need to say the words. She can see the answer in his face. She steps closer and places her hand on his arm. There is no anger in her eyes, only sadness mixed with understanding. Amy tells him that some journeys start far from home, but sometimes they are the ones that bring a person back stronger. Her kindness steadies him more than she knows. By afternoon, the whole ranch knows. The air feels heavier, quieter, as if the land itself is preparing to let him go. Nathan walks around Heartland one last time, memorizing the sounds and smells and moments that shaped him. Every goodbye is gentle, but every goodbye also takes a piece of his heart with it. He stands at the gate with his bag slung over his shoulder. The path ahead is uncertain, full of shadows from the past and echoes he has avoided for too long. But he also feels something else rising inside him. Courage. A new beginning. A step toward answers he has chased silently for years. The road stretches out in front of Nathan like a long unanswered question. As he drives away from Heartland, the morning sun climbs higher, casting soft light across endless miles of open land. The farther he gets, the quieter the world becomes. No familiar voices, no familiar routines, only the steady hum of the truck engine and the thoughts he has tried to avoid for years. This journey is not just about reaching Montana. It is about facing a version of himself he left behind. The closer he gets to the border, the more memories return. Not bright ones filled with laughter, but the shadows he pushed away. He remembers the ranch where he once lived, the tall fences, the smell of dust and leather, the cold mornings when he tried to be stronger than he felt. He remembers a person he trusted, someone who shaped the path of his life more than anyone else. Someone he walked away from when the pain became too heavy. The letter brought all of that back in a single moment. Reopening a door he swore he would never open again, Nathan pulls over at a quiet rest stop and steps out of the truck. The air is crisp and sharp, different from Heartland's warmth. He leans against the hood, staring at the mountains rising in the distance. They look exactly as he remembers, tall and unforgiving. He wonders if he has changed enough to survive whatever waits for him there. Part of him hopes the past will welcome him gently, but a deeper part knows the truth. Nothing about this journey will be gentle. He takes the letter from his pocket again. The name at the bottom is familiar, but seeing it still tightens his chest. It belongs to someone who once guided him, someone who pushed him to grow, someone who heard him without meaning to. The letter spoke of trouble at the ranch, of broken fences and worn-out hands, of a place slowly falling apart without help. And beneath that, between the lines, was something more personal. A quiet plea, a request for forgiveness that the sender never said out loud. Nathan closes his eyes. He is not sure if he is ready to forgive. He is not sure if he wants to. But he does know this. He cannot keep running from the past and expect the future to make sense. Heartland taught him many things, but the most important lesson came from the people he grew close to. Healing does not happen by hiding. It happens by choosing to face what hurt you. He takes a deep breath and gets back into the truck. As he starts the engine, something inside him shifts. Not fear, not regret. Something stronger, determination. He grips the wheel and continues down the road, feeling Montana draw nearer with every mile. The land changes as he approaches the outskirts of his old town. The air feels heavier. The silence grows deeper. He slows down, watching familiar landmarks pass by. The old feed store, the dusty road that leads to the auction barn, the long stretch of fence he once repaired in the middle of a storm. Each memory lands with a weight of its own. When the ranch finally appears in the distance, Nathan's breath catches. The place looks older, worn down, almost tired. And yet, it still stands. Just like he does, Nathan realizes then that this journey is not only about returning. It is about rebuilding. And maybe, if he is brave enough, it is also about healing the one part of his life he left unfinished. They step aside and let Nathan inside. The house is worn but familiar. Pictures still hang on the walls. Tools sit where they always did. Time moved forward, but this place seems frozen, waiting for him to return. They sit at the old kitchen table, the one where Nathan learned his earliest lessons. No long speeches, no dramatic apologies, just two people facing the truth. Finally, without walls, Nathan listens as they explain the struggles happening at the ranch. How the land has been falling apart. How they tried to handle everything alone. How they realized too late that pushing Nathan away years ago was the biggest mistake. Their voice cracks when they say they never stopped hoping he would come back one day. Nathan feels the weight of those words settle deep inside him. He does not answer right away. He lets the silence speak for him. After a long pause, he finally says what has been sitting in his heart. I'm not here to fix everything in one day, but I'm here to try. The person across from him nods with a mixture of gratitude and regret. It is not a perfect reunion, but it is a beginning, a slow healing, a chance to rebuild what was broken. Nathan steps outside again after the conversation, standing at the edge of the ranch that once felt like the end of his story. Now, it feels like the start of a new chapter. He looks at the worn fences, the tired barn, the land waiting to be cared for. It is not Heartland, but in its own way, it is still home. Or at least it could be again. As the wind moves through the valley, Nathan feels a calm he has not felt in years. He knows this journey will be hard. He knows some wounds will take time to heal. But he also knows he is stronger now. Heartland gave him that strength. And Montana is where he will use it. Nathan takes a deep breath, steps forward, and begins the work that will shape the next part of his life.